Hi everyone, I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar. We have a master class, It's Secret to a Cohesive PPC Campaign. I am Rupa Carpenter. I am the CRO manager here at Hennepin Marketing. If you're interested in following me on Twitter, you can do so at Rupa Carpenter. And I am also pleased to introduce our co-presenter for today. It's Siddharth Deswal. He is with VWO. And Siddharth, would you like to say a little bit about yourself?
Thanks for having me over. Just to let you guys know, I'm a huge fan of PPC Hero and I've been following it for about two and a half years now. So I'm really excited to be here today. And so I was the first marketer at Visual Website Optimizer. I joined about two and a half years ago when we were a really small company. Currently, I basically oversee the marketing function and personally interested in e-commerce, analytics, and a lot of storytelling. So yeah, that's about me.
Sounds great. And Siddharth, we definitely are excited to have you guys here with us and to do this presentation with you. So moving on to join the conversation. If you'd like to join our conversation today, include the hashtag ThinkPPC in your Twitter tweets, or you could use the webinar question box to send us some questions. So Siddharth, would you like to take on that first live poll question?
Yes, so the first question is, how long have you been in PPC? Is it less than 1 year, 1 to 3 years, between 3 to 5 years, or you're a pro at this and you've been doing PPC for more than 5 years?
Well, Siddharth, I can answer for myself. I fall into letter B here, 1 to 3 years. So I've been here at Hennepin for almost a year and a half, and I've also been doing CRO for that long as well. And I've kind of gone the full spectrum, kind of worked with lead gen and e-commerce and a bit of both. So that's just a little bit about myself. So the results are in. We have about, let's see, it's kind of a tie between less than 1 year and 1 to 3 years. So I think this will be a great webinar for those users.
Yeah, I think so too. And the second question that we wanted to ask to understand you better is, how do you manage your accounts? So do you manage it yourself? Are you a part of a team that manages your account? Do you outsource your account management? Or you currently rethinking how your account is managed?
Well, Siddharth, we here at Hennepin, we're an agency, so we handle the accounts for our clients. We have a dedicated account manager that really pushes through on the strategy side, but we also have a client services manager, and we also have fellow staff here that help carry out the tasks and making the optimizations. And then I come in on the CRO aspect, either managing CRO myself or helping out the account managers with that. So the results are in here, and it looks like we have 54% manage it themselves, 32% are part of a team that manages it. So that's great. All right, so we're going to move on here to our presentation. So we're going to get started with congruency and why it matters. First of all, what is congruency? Not everyone may know that. And then second of all, why we should do that. And then once we kind of see why it's important, we're going to look at how do we kind of implement this into our PPC strategy. So first of all, what's the definition? Congruent. It means in agreement or harmony. So this is an example here. Institutional and departmental objectives are largely congruent. But you know what? I kind of want to PPC-fy this example. And yes, I totally just made that word up, PPC-fy. So what it means is just message match. It's really your ad and your landing page objectives are largely congruent. So the question you want to ask yourself is, how well is my PPC landing page aligned with my ad copy? So now that we have the basic idea of what congruency is, why do we care about it? Well, right now I'd like to go through a short little exercise. And Siddharth, I'd like you to participate in this one too, okay? So can everyone just close your eyes? Imagine you're on a tropical vacation. Not that hard to do, right? So then you arrive at your hotel late at night, you wake up in the morning, you're a little groggy from all that travel, but you know what? The sun is shining. So you're like, oh, I'm going to go for a swim in the sea. So what you do is you walk along and you follow the sign saying seaside. But when you get to the seaside, what happens? Uh-oh. No white sandy beaches, no palm trees. only a stinky little harbor full of fishing boats. Siddharth, would you be disappointed?
Very disappointed.
Same here, absolutely. And this is exactly the type of feeling we want to avoid with our PPC campaign. You do not want to be the stinky little harbor. So kind of how do you avoid that situation? Well, you want to make sure your landing page lives up to the promise. And you said, well, where's the promise being given? It's being given in your ad copy. So what you need to do is create a smooth user experience as they go from performing the search, clicking on your ad, landing on your landing page, and interacting with your site. If you do not have the smooth user experience, then your landing page becomes that stinky little harbor. So just looking at an example here, I did a search on Google for Samsung TVs, and this is one of the ad copies that popped up. So it looks pretty good. It's meeting my expectations. It's saying Samsung TVs right in the headline. I know Best Buy is going to have Samsung TVs for me. This is the promise that's being made. However, when I get to the landing page, there's no Samsung TV in sight. And in fact, if you scroll the whole page, there's no Samsung TV. In fact, there's no mention of Samsung. This, to me, is not living up to the promise of what I had in that ad copy. This is the stinky little harbor. And the reason you don't want to create this expectation is because the chances of me converting on this page are pretty much zero. The chances of me returning are probably very small, because my thought is, well, they may promise it in the ad copy, but you know what? They're not really coming through on the landing page. So this is exactly the reason why we want to avoid being the stinky little harbor. So now that we see why congruency is important, how do we go about incorporating that into our PPC strategy? Well, this is a congruent design score sheet. Now, I'd like to say that Hannah created this. We did not. Ollie Gardner is the one who really waxes poetic about this, and so we tried it out for some of our clients. We found it to be very useful. The top part of the score sheet kind of really relates to your PPC campaign, whereas the main portion of the score sheet is really used to analyze different features on your website. So specifically, you really want to focus on your top keyword and within your campaign. Obviously, you have probably thousands upon hundreds of thousands of keywords. A great place to start is where you're seeing the top performance. And then what you want to do is, okay, see what ad copy is tied to that keyword. And then you're going to include the URL that's tied to that ad copy. This is the best place to start. Another key thing here is to add in your primary goal. Now, best practices will say on your landing page you should only have one conversion type, and that's the ideal to shoot for. But oftentimes I've seen even with our clients that we may have more than one conversion type. The key here is to figure out what is the purposes of our PPC campaign. Is it to drive the free trial? Then that's what we should be focusing on. And as you do this analysis, you should be working towards that goal and seeing if everything is working towards pushing that conversion. And then in terms of scoring, what we do is we go through each feature on the landing page and we give it a score of either 0, 1, or 2. So 0 means it has absolutely no relevance to meeting the goal. Oops, sorry there. And 1, it has some relevance, but you could do some tweaking there. Or it gets a 2. It's excellent. Probably needs little or no improvement. Again, making sure your primary goal is the focus here. So I'm not going to go through every feature on this score sheet. I'm just going to highlight some of the main ones. So one of the first places you want to look at is your headline. Is there a great message match? So in terms of what are you talking about matching it up with, we're talking about your ad copy. Is it reinforcing that message? And then the second thing to look at is if you have a subheading. And if you do, does it tell you a bit more about the product, the service, or the offer? Does it, again, reinforce the message in the ad copy? Does it offer a feature or benefit? So looking into an example here, the keyword that was used for this specific PPC campaign was reminder phone call. So if you look at the ad copy, it's pretty much on point. It says reminder phone call right in the headline. And then in the description, again, it talks about simple to use reminder phone call. This is great. It's living up to the promise. The problem is when you click through to it, you end up on simple, fast, reliable, automated calling service. Join the thousands that use this company every day as their go-to automated calling service. This, my friends, is a bad message match. There's no, when you get to the landing page, you don't even see the word reminder. You don't see phone anywhere. So this, to me, is not living up to the promise. So what we did is we switched it out. We changed it to automated reminder phone calls, keep more appointments, and free up time for staff. This we felt was a better message match. It's, again, reinforcing the idea in the ad copy. The subheading here kind of gives a little bit more of the benefit of going with this specific company. So what resulted? A 22.83% increase in conversion rate. This is another example we have here. So the keyword here was travel nursing jobs. As you can see, the ad copy, it says top travel nursing jobs, free private housing, top pay and benefits, apply now. So there again, it's meeting our expectations of what a person would search for. And then when you get to the landing page, it says, start your adventure with top travel nursing jobs. Now this is something I'd probably give it a score of 1 because it does mention travel nursing jobs, so at least people know they're in the right place. But start your adventure, I mean, what does that mean to me? Does that mean apply now? Does it mean do something else? You know, it doesn't give as much direction. So what we did is we switched out the headline and we added a subheading. So the headline says, apply for travel nursing jobs. So again, it's reinforcing travel nursing jobs, but now it's incorporating the call to action from the ad copy. It's saying apply. Okay, it's telling people, okay, I need to apply for this. And then we use the subheading to really highlight the benefits. Well, why should you go with us? Because we offer free private housing, top pay, and benefits. And what we saw here was an astounding 126% improvement in the contact us conversion rate. So this was a great test here that resulted. Another element that you want to look at is the introduction on your landing page. Does it provide solid information? Does it give further information that pushes a person towards that conversion? Again, the primary conversion. And then do you have bullet points or do you have heavy text? Typically, for best practices, we like to have 2 or 3 bullet points, very succinct, really getting to the point of why choose us? What are the benefits? What are the features? So this is another example of what we had. The ad copy said, huge savings on any new Hyundai. Our buying power saves you money. And then you get to this landing page. It says, how to save up to 25% off the retail price of a new Hyundai. Get it delivered to your door without haggling with pushy salesmen at the car dealership. Yes, that is a mouthful to say. And the funny part is they highlight the fact that you don't have to haggle with a pushy salesman, but the way that the headline is stylized, it kind of felt kind of pushy to me. So, and it does mention saving, it does mention Hyundai, but it doesn't really kind of focusing on the buying power saves you money. The benefits are kind of smushed all together. It's really hard to read. So this is what we did to it. We basically took the ad copy and used that as our headline. So huge savings on any new Hyundai, our buying power saves you money. And then what we did is all the benefits that were listed in that very long headline, we just took it, broke it apart, made it more succinct. So now if a person was to say, why should I go with this company? They'll say, oh yeah, save up to 25% off. I can avoid those pushy salesmen and get it delivered to my door. It's very easy to read. And this is what we saw, a 35.4% improvement in lead conversion rate. Another area you're going to look at when you use the score sheet are testimonials. The main thing here is it believable? So, you know, what makes it believable? Is it specific? Is the person just saying, oh, this company is great? Or are they saying, this company is great because of X, Y, and Z? That's really what makes the difference. Compelling. Is this the type of testimonial that's going to make me want to convert today or right now? And then personal. A lot of users who come to your site, they want to be able to identify with the story in the testimonial. So if you're able to hit on all 3, then you have a really good testimonial set up for your landing page. So this is another test that we have. This is actually a winning page that we had based on several rounds of testing. The one thing with this page, though, is that the testimonial was all the way at the bottom. So what we wanted to do was use it to move it up a little bit for it to become a bit more compelling. So the great thing about this is we have a name, we have a picture. So that kind of already lets people know that this isn't a stock image, this is a real person. What I like about this testimonial is they talk about having completed several assignments. So this isn't someone new, this is someone who has worked with this company quite a bit, and she kind of outlines reasons why she's satisfied with this company. So what resulted from this test? A 61% improvement in application conversion rate. So now that we've kind of gone through some of the features of the score sheet, I thought we could walk through a couple analysis here. First, we're going to start with a good example. So this landing page might look a little bit familiar to you if you remember the reminder phone call, the Stinky Harbor one. So, but the thing is that we're looking at it in regards to a different keyword. It's the automated phone calls. This is the one that really brings in a lot of traffic here. And if you look at the top ad, it says automated phone calls, simple to use automated calling services, try now. So this is very much on point, the ad copy and the keyword, which I think in terms of PPC, we're all very good at doing. So the next thing is to look at, okay, how does that work in relation to the landing page? The goal here is to push people towards a free trial. So first, looking at the headline, we found that there's good correlation between the ad and the headline. So the headline here in the ad copy says automated phone calls. When you get to the landing page, it says simple, fast, reliable, automated calling service. Again, very much living up to that promise. The subheading, it provides more explanation of why to use them. It's talking about joining the thousands that use it every day. We just kind of felt that it was somewhat relevant, but there's definitely room for improvement here. In terms of the hero image, there is no real hero image. You'll see three small images there on the bottom of that landing page. Add context, create a message, send and analyze. It's good for telling you kind of how it works, but there's potential then, again, to improve the hero image here. In terms of the intro, we thought the intro worked very well. It's the how does it work? It's simple. You record a voice or text message, and we send it out to all your contacts. Life is sweet. The message itself is so brief, it kind of lends itself to the simple, lends itself to the idea that it's fast too, which is again things that were highlighted in the ad copy. In terms of bullets, there were no bullet points. I think they kind of substituted using those images with a little bit of description under it. So this is something that might be worth testing to really try to lay out the benefits or the features, is to try it in a bullet format here. So for the form header, we have it right here. It's pretty on point. We're trying to push the free trial. It says try us for free. So we thought that was highly relevant. In terms of the form fields, someone signing up for a free trial, they probably don't want to give too much information. So we kind of felt that the information they're requesting here is not too terrible in regards to getting a free trial, and it's very simple to use. So again, it was pretty much on point there. In terms of testimonials, they do have. Not only do they have a testimonial, they also have a few happy customers of especially recognizable companies. The testimonial here says, it's so easy, all I have to do is click who I need to contact, record my message, and less than 5 minutes later, all my calls were made, and I know who was contacted and how. The great thing is you have a name, you have a company, so you know it's not a fake testimonial. Again, they mention how easy it is, so it's speaking to that simple message. They actually outline what they have to do, and that they get it done in less than 5 minutes, so that speaks to the speed. Again, it's the message that's reinforced from the ad copy onto the landing page. In terms of learn more, you wouldn't be able to see on the screenshots, but you can navigate down on the page. It's not really text heavy, it's easily navigable, so we thought that was pretty good. In terms of why use this company? Well, they say it right in the headline. It's simple, fast, and it's reliable, so we felt that was pretty much on point there as well. In terms of the privacy statement, they don't have any glaring statement under the form. They do have a link to it under the form fields, but it's not any of these type of tests that says, oh, we're not going to spam you. And even though people have the best of intentions to say we're not going to spam you, just including the word spam in your privacy text it does tend to scare people away. And then finally, the call to action. So the call to action, again, our goal is to push free trials. But the thing is that there's actually two call to actions on this landing page. There's the try it free, and then there's the sign up. So this is where we're finding a little bit of issue because, again, our goal for PPC is to push the free trial. Yes, ultimately, their marketing strategy overall wants to get the sign up, but that's not our goal. So this is something in terms of making optimizations, this is where we would try to focus on pushing people only to the try it free. So what was the ultimate score that we gave for this landing page? It's a 20 out of 24. We think this is a pretty good score to have. But again, there's definitely areas we can optimize. The subheading, including bullet points, a hero image, and probably most importantly, again, is trying to drive to just one call to action here. So that was a good example. What about the not so good example? So this landing page deals with migraine relief. The top keyword, migraine relief. The ad copy, relief for migraines, high quality migraine supplement, get your free 2-week supply now. So again, from keyword to ad copy, very much on point. The goal here is to get a free 2-week trial. So what about that headline? Well, first of all, you really have to squint to see that headline. It's all the way at the top in that first circle at the top left. It says, discover how this natural formula can help your migraines. Well, that's not really on point with the ad copy, because the ad copy is speaking about relief, migraine relief. And although help can be interpreted as relief, it is not relief in and of itself. So that we felt was not really relevant to the ad copy. What about that subheading? Well, the subheading is what really stands out at you. It's how a desperate husband found a way to reduce his wife's migraines while scores of doctors failed for 25 years to get her the relief she sought after. Well, first of all, again, there's no actual mention of migraine relief here. The second part is another thing you have to think about when you're looking at congruency. You have to think about the voice. What's the voice sound like in your ad copy, and what does it sound like on your landing page? The voice in your ad copy is just saying relief from migraines, kind of nice and calm, and then all of a sudden you get to this subheading. It's like how a desperate husband found a way to reduce his wife's migraines. There's just a difference in the voice there, and that can cause some concern for users as they go from your ad copy to your landing page. So what about the hero image? They do have a picture of the bottle there, which was, it's okay. I think probably what sells migraine relief better is maybe having a picture of a person who has this pain expression on their face and they have their fingers to their head, much like the image of the woman in that book. That, to me, if you have that as your hero image, that's a person who understands going from the ad copy to the landing page, yes, this is meeting my expectations, that they're talking about migraine relief here. So in terms of the intro, again, you have to kind of think about what kind of relationship you have with the user. Relief from migraines, high-quality migraine supplement, you're not really having a personal relationship there. But as soon as you get to the landing page, they're addressing me as a friend. The thing is that I'm not your friend. And so that in and of itself also provides some inconsistency. You have to keep the level of the relationship the same from your ad copy to your landing page here. In terms of bullet points, they do have bullet points. You see those check marks there. They're pretty clear and succinct. What I would probably recommend here is maybe just reducing it down to 2 or 3. Normally people say if you don't really spend a lot of time on your site, what you want people to take away are just 2 or 3 benefits or features of working with your site. So that's probably one of the improvements I would make over here. In terms of the form header, it says, get a free copy of this powerful book. The powerful book might, provide information on migraine relief, but to me, what is our goal? Our goal is free trial. So to me, this isn't as relevant because it's not pushing the goal of our PPC campaign, which is the free 2-week trial. In terms of the form fields, it's just asking for name and email. That's not really anything too crazy. The reason why we kind of gave this a low score is because of that call to action. Submit is pretty much considered the worst call to action button that you can use. And the reason why is that it tends to have a negative connotation, and it doesn't really provide much information to the user. What are they going to get from this? So that's the reason why we normally give it a low score when we see that call to action button. In terms of testimonials, they do have a name, they do have a place for these testimonials, so it makes me feel like, yeah, these are real people. But read the things that they highlight. I thought I would die before I could ever feel any better. Another one says, yeah, I experienced very positive results. So I'm a person who actually suffers from migraines. The last thing I want to think about is death. So that to me just doesn't work with where I am at emotionally. And then the other one is just saying very positive results. That to me is a little vague. Tell me, did I go from, I used to suffer 5 migraines in a month, and now since taking this supplement, I only get 1 a month? Or is it, my migraines used to last for 10 hours, and now with this medicine, it goes away in an hour? That's the type of information that I want to hear. In terms of learn more, again, you're not going to be able to see it in the screenshot, but there's a lot of heavy text on there. It's really hard to navigate through it and find out more, so we gave that a low score. In terms of why, it doesn't really give a lot of the key benefits and features straight up and right to the point. So that's why we kind of felt like, in terms of why we should use this as opposed to something else, we felt that it was lacking there. In terms of the privacy statement, they have that big one here. Results vary. Migraine headaches may have many causes, and not everyone will see similar results. Now, part of it is the industry. They kind of have to include this information to avoid lawsuits. But there's this other part that a small percentage of users may experience abnormal sensitivity to 1 or more ingredients. This is all just caution, warning, warning. These are the type of things that they're going to keep me from following through and going ahead with that free 2-week trial here. And then finally, the call to action. So if we look at this landing page, there's call now, there's get a free copy of this powerful book, and then there's a free trial. Again, you're pushing users left and right here, but from our PPC ad, we want people to go for that supply now, the 2-week supply. So this is where we can make a lot of improvement, is pushing people towards that one goal for our PPC campaign. So what was the score for this landing page? Wah, wah. It was a 3 out of 24. Yes. So, but we at least know that there's a lot of room for improvement, from the headline to the subheading to changing the tone, to pushing to one conversion type, to reworking the testimonials, to changing the call to action on the form button if you're going to have that form on there, and kind of maybe reworking that privacy statement. So there's a lot to do here, but this analysis kind of points us in the right direction of where we need to go. So we kind of talked about the basis of how you do a landing page analysis in regards to congruency. But something else that's there that I want you to consider, it's the PPC funnel. So not all keywords have the same level of intent, and all of you are familiar with PPC, so this is not something new to you. Obviously, someone searching for TV versus Samsung TV reviews versus buy Samsung 42-inch TV, they're all different types of intent. There's general, research, and purchase. Now, the purchase intent is, the most important for us. However, those keywords are lower volume and highly competitive. And these are the keywords that they might include size, color, model specifics, like I said, Samsung 42-inch TV, or price qualifiers. The general research intent, these keywords, they might lead to the initial visit to the site, but the conversion will likely occur on a subsequent visit through a different search query. So this is saying, TV reviews, or just looking for TVs in general. The reason why it's important to understand these intents is that it will allow you to manage these keywords differently in your PPC campaigns. Now, I'm already pretty sure that you guys are managing this within AdWords or Bing differently. You're probably using different bids. You're probably going to bid more for the purchase keywords as opposed for the general and research. But what I'm asking you to look at is the landing page. So specifically, I'm talking about having keywords of different intent leading to separate landing pages. Why would we want to do that? So I did another example. I did a Google search for Garcinia Cambogia reviews, and there was an ad that popped up for Walmart, and so I went and clicked on it, and this was the landing page that I arrived on. You can see that they're highlighting different products, but the thing is that they're pushing me to purchase. So this is not aligned with my user intent. I'm in the mode of seeking reviews. I'm not ready to buy, and this is too high of a commitment for me. So then I clicked on a different ad, and I got taken to this landing page, Garcinia Surge Reviews. This landing page is more in line with where I am at in my intent. I'm looking for reviews. Right in the headline it says reviews, so I know I'm in the right place. It's living up to the promise. And I see all that heavy text there. I have a feeling that they're going to tell me quite a bit about the product and also about the ingredient Garcinia Cambogia itself. And then you notice at the very bottom, there's a link. It says learn more or buy a Garcinia Surge. So you are kind of pushing the conversion there, but it's a much lower commitment. And this is much more in line and probably going to do much better than the Walmart landing page here. So what's the key takeaway from everything that I'm saying? I would hate for you guys to just look at what we've done and say, okay, great, let's go ahead and implement it. That's not the purpose of this webinar. So don't just do it. Just test it. And by that I mean we might expect best practices to work for everyone. It doesn't always work that way. So let me give you an example here. Oh, how about that? We're going to do a live poll question 3 first. How much do you know about A/B testing? A, I've never heard of it. B, I just know about the concept. C, I have run a few tests. D, I regularly run tests on my website landing pages. So Darth, would you like to talk a little bit about VWO since they are the A/B testing service?
Yeah, Rupa. So basically, VWO is what we call ourselves as the easiest A/B testing tool on the market over there. We basically allow our users to run A/B tests on their landing pages, especially their PPC landing pages, without diving into a lot of code. So that's the primary value that we add. And in addition to that, there's also heat maps and let's say, a lot of targeting options that VWO gives for most of our, for all of our customers. Yeah. So I just want to ask, how much of A/B testing do you do, Rupa?
We do a lot of it. In fact, all of our enterprise level clients do CRO and we do A/B testing. We are a firm believer of promoting a culture of testing. I know some clients like to do just drastic changes right from the beginning, but what we preach is going slow and constant. You always want to be testing, always improving that user experience.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have the results in. It seems that we have around 39% run a few tests, 32 have regularly run the tests on their website, 23 know about the concept, and 6% have never heard of it. All right, so moving on here. So why do we want to test it? Well, here's a good example. We were so excited about this whole congruency, matching headline with ad copy. We thought we were great. And so we went to one of our clients who said, okay, well, right now on your website, you're talking about Ignite Your Future at this college in Wayne, New Jersey. We said, but our ad copy has a different message. So why don't we match our headlines to our ad copy? So one of the ad copy was saying, learn how this specific college can help start your exciting new career. Another ad copy says, further your career at this college in Wayne, New Jersey. So we said, great, let's do these tests. And let's see, we hypothesize that these will win out. But guess what happened? Yes, this is why you want to test. The control conversion rate, 9.08%. The learn how, 5.88% conversion rate. And further your career, a 7% conversion rate. So had we just blindly implemented this best practice, we would be in big trouble. So always test, test, test. That is the key here. So right now, I'm going to hand it over to Siddharth. You can move on to the analysis of a PPC landing page.
Thanks so much, Rupa. Those were great insights. So yeah, the next part of this webinar is I'm going to do the analysis starting from the end, starting from a Google search onto the landing page experience of a keyword that is the health checkup. This was something that bothered me very recently, which is why I decided to do the analysis for this. So before we start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly set the context with which I'll be arriving on the landing page. I'm doing this because we see many of our customers spend a lot of man hours and time creating PPC landing pages, but they don't take the time to properly define their target audience and really nail their buyer personas. So to start, I'm a single male between 25 to 30 years old. I have a very sedentary lifestyle and I'm concerned about general fitness. I prefer to pay online instead of dealing in cash or credit. I don't want to commit to anything before I know of all my options. Want as much information, and that's really important for me, about my health as much as possible. And I'm very transactional in nature. That is, I want to know upfront what I pay and what I get in return. So yeah, coming to our search query, there it is. The search query, that is health checkup. I see the top two landing pages and the top two ads. The first one says Lal Path Lab Body Checkup, which is okay, fine. That's out of a score of 2, I'd probably give it a 1. And specially designed health packages, free home collection. Not so sure about that, but then it says COD available, which might appeal to certain buyer personas, not to me right now. The second ad, which says Master Health Checkup, we offer health packages for all. This sounds much more congruent and in tune with what I'm looking for. Interestingly enough, I see the copy below the ad, and what I see is 4.5 lakh checkups done, which is essentially social proof. 4.5 lakhs means 450,000 checkups done, and it says buy online, which is one of my key concerns, which I just expressed So yes, this is the one that I'm going to click on first. When I arrive on the landing page, okay, so my attention was immediately drawn to the large form on the right. When I look around on the page, I see no useful information about the different types of checkup plans or what's available or what exactly does a checkup plan entail. In fact, the only useful information I get is their call center number, which I don't want to interact with at this stage of the decision-making process. So yes, the form itself is not a great idea before they've given me any information at all. Unfortunately, they also have a CAPTCHA on the form. Now, CAPTCHAs on landing pages are only useful when you're getting a lot of spam form submissions. If this landing page is only targeted to AdWords traffic, which has very high intent, then I'm guessing there'll be very few spam submissions. And even if there are few spam submissions, I'd rather go through my CRM system and just sort through a few spam emails instead of I don't know, nosediving the conversion rate for this page.
Siddharth, I actually have a question about that. For our
Yeah.
lead generation clients, this is kind of an issue we always have to deal with because they do have that concern about getting spam, so that's why they use the CAPTCHA. From
Okay.
your experience, is there an alternative that we could use to kind of help prevent the unqualified leads from coming through, but still not really kill off the conversion?
So there are two parts over here. The first is that I've seen a lot of landing pages and analyzed a lot of A/B tests on landing pages for VWO and also for our case studies. And I've in about 2.5 years, I've never seen a CAPTCHA on a landing page, especially on a PPC or an AdWords landing page. But the second part, the way that we tried doing this once for one of our landing pages, because a hacker or a bot from Russia was filling in a lot of spam emails for our forms. So what we did was we basically, at the back end, we put a hard limit that someone could only submit a form in 30 seconds. That is, if you submitted a form in 30 seconds, then the next form can only be submitted after 30 seconds. And that basically prevented that hacker or that automated program to spam our forms. So that's one way I think that could work really well for people who are bothered by a lot of spam.
Thanks, Siddharth. I think it's a great idea. And I had just one more question, not to do with the CAPTCHA, but I noticed
Yes.
in the ad copy, you highlighted it. It mentioned 4.5 lakh checkups.
Yes.
I don't see it on the screenshot here. Do you think there's any value in adding that to the landing page?
I think there's a lot of value in adding that. I mean, any kind of social proof, and especially social proof, which, as the example that you've given previously, that continue the congruency from the ad copy to the landing page. So I think, yes, that should have been added on this landing page. But this page is, in my opinion, it's got a lot of wrong happening over here. For example, the only headline I see is what we'll call the health checkup in 3 easy steps, which is useful. It's interesting. It's useful. It shows me that it's easy to get a health checkup, but it doesn't mean much. And also about the, I'd like to again one more point I'd like to put about the AdWords page over here. So if this page is targeted to PPC traffic, then they should not put in the CAPTCHA. However, if this is a general page which an automated bot is also coming to, or there are people who are just filling in bad entries, then they should have a very specific page that is highly targeted to just their AdWords traffic. So that in that case also they don't need a CAPTCHA. And coming next to the points over here, that is checkups at best hospitals and diagnostic centers, doesn't really mean much. We provide independent and neutral doctor counseling, okay. Get up to 50% discount on our health checkup packages. That's not really a concern at this step of the decision-making process. So I'm not really impressed with this landing page, and I said, okay, I'll let this one be. I went back to the ads, and I decided to pick up the first one. So yeah, over here we see Dr. Lal's Path Labs, which basically stands for Dr. Lal's Pathological Labs. One thing that Dr. Lal's really benefits from is a bigger brand. In my country, in my region, they regularly run print and radio ads, and we know that they also have a very large number of centers all across India. So first things first, the brand name itself instills a sense of confidence and a sense of security because I know them from before. The next point is staying healthy cannot get easier than this. Here's a convenient way to get tested. The headline and the sub-headline. I am not sure if this is a very strong headline, and I don't see any congruency from the ad copy or even the keyword, the search keyword. What works really well on this page is select your location and take the first step towards online prevention. So I am right now located in New Delhi, and when I landed on this page, it automatically picked up my location and showed that in the drop-down box over here. That really worked for me because I immediately knew, okay, fine, they probably have a health checkup center in New Delhi, and I wouldn't have to hunt online or on Google Maps for their brick and mortar store. The next point was the pricing. I liked that they immediately showed the pricing up front. This gave me a chance to, or gave me a sense of how much the checkup will cost and helps me understand how much I need to budget for this exercise. Now, then I finally came to the benefits copy on the left-hand side. They've branded this entire thing what they call a click a test. When looking through the benefits copy, I don't think it was very strong for my buyer persona. Most important part of this that would be congruent for me at least would be the ability to pay online through net banking or the payment facility. So here's what I did. I basically went ahead and decided to redesign this page, and that would be my suggestions to Dr. Lal Path Labs, that this is what they should, or that this is how they should redesign the entire page. All right, yeah. So first things first, let's look at the testimonial over here. I started with, I'll just read this out to you so that we can kind of dissect the testimonial. Getting checked at Dr. Lal's was extremely easy, and the doctors explained each point in the report to us in detail. They also provided advice about precautions to take in the future. All in all, a very pleasant experience. That is said by Mr. Rupam Carpenter. A little bit of a pun over here. I hope that's okay with you, Rupa?
It's perfectly fine.
All right. So, yeah, let's start with getting checked at Dr. Lal's was extremely easy, essentially trying to communicate the convenience and ease of use of the entire experience. The doctors explained each point in the report to us in detail. If you remember, in my buyer persona, I had explained that it is very important for me to know everything about my health. So this little phrase hits the spot over there. They also provided advice and precautions to take for the future, which shows a caring and a generous attitude. All in all, a very pleasant experience. The reason I would really love a testimonial like this is because going for a health checkup to a hospital or to a laboratory or a lab is still a difficult experience. So it's not exactly an experience that most of us would look forward to. So putting this in over here, all in all, a very pleasant experience actually makes it much easier to do and far more interesting, or how would I say, it just becomes less difficult for me to go ahead with. The next point is start by selecting a health checkup plan. The reason I chose this headline was one, because of the congruency with the ad copy and the ad, the search query, which is health checkup. The second thing is start by selecting a health checkup plan in itself is a call to action. So it basically gets you to move forward right over there. The subheadline, not sure what's best for you, call us at 011-3988-5050 and in brackets toll free. Obviously, there's two parts to this headline. First is that it makes it easy for a person to decide and probably puts a human voice behind the decision process, or a human voice to help with the decision process. But more importantly, this subheadline displays a sense of caring. It basically instills a sense of confidence and trust, which is why, more important than getting the phone number out there, it's about showing that yes, we care. At least for Dr. Lal's, the brand. The third point over here was location. I went ahead with that, the auto detecting of the location. Fourth is, I'll just talk about this actually, the premium body panel. So what I did was, as you saw in the last, or in the original version, they have all of these small pricing plans, what they call the panels. So they have all of them listed in a table. Based on our experience, we know that if you make it easy, essentially the job of the landing page is to make it very easy for the user to make a decision, in that they should not feel friction while making a decision. So what we decided to do, or what I decided to do over here, was to give them the best option that I think was the best option. It's important over here that Dr. Lal's A/B test what they or which plan they should show over here. That is the big plan, because they might want to dig into their data and see whether it is the premium body panel that makes the most profits, or is it, let's say, a diabetes panel that sells in volume, which is why gives more overall profits. Then comes again the pricing, making it very easy to understand the pricing and the discount. Like you mentioned, Rupa, I think it's really important to show the important information in a list, which is why I decided to go with a list over here about what all tests will be done in this health checkup plan. This is an A/B test in itself, because some people might know a lot about what these tests mean or what will happen in them. Some just might not. So what Dr. Lals might want to do is basically A/B test whether they should add more detail in this area or keep it the way I've kept it right now. And then a large CTA which does not say submit or just a simple buy now. I think it's important, like you said, Rupa, that our CTAs should not be just simple submits and buy now or buy this. They should continue the conversation, and in this case, the checkup, the word that is coming from the search term, the search keyword, to the ad copy, to the CTA. So the congruency is actually maintained through right till the CTA. I've also chosen the red color for this, so that it matches the other CTAs of the page. And finally, again, I realized that Dr. Lals have about 10 centers in Delhi. I think that's a very important point, because it shows that there is a center close to my location, either close to work or close to home or close to where I live. So it is important to show the locality, and again in a list wise, so different names of the localities over here. I think that's a confidence building measure, and these are links. They're looking like links, but I would not advocate these links going to different pages. What I would advocate is that they open or they show the address and the phone number in a modal box or in a pop-up box. Yeah, so that's basically the way I would recommend Dr. Lal's structure their AdWords page, and run the various A/B tests on this to get to that perfect page that converts the best, with the best amount of congruency, from starting right from the search term to the ad headline and copy, right down to even the CTA. On to you, Rupa.
Sure. Thank you, Siddharth. That was a great in-depth analysis of two very different landing pages, and I appreciate getting your experience with that. So our last live poll question here is, would you like help with your PPC accounts and management? I am interested in A, free solution blueprint from Hannafin, So first of all, what is a solutions blueprint? It's a free custom account analysis for accounts that spend over 20K per month for their ad spend. One of our PPC experts looks into your account, identified what's good and what's not so good, and also opportunities for expansion and growth. So I would highly suggest this to anyone. Really, a fresh pair of eyes on your account is always a good thing. The second one is a free 2-month account for a VWO. Siddharth, would you like to talk a little bit about this?
So basically, the majority of people over here are well familiar with A/B testing, and they're doing A/B testing probably on the landing pages. We'd just like to make it easier for them to use VW, understand what it's all about, and see if they can increase the conversion rate on their AdWords pages with more and better A/B testing.
Great. And then the third possible answer is both, and the last one says no thank you. All right, moving on. We're going to be going to a live Q&A here. I think we have just a couple minutes to answer some questions here. So one of our questions says, why is submit the worst call to action? And what are examples of some good buttons? So the reason why submit is detested so much is, first, it's just too generic. It doesn't really tell the person what to do or what they're getting from it. And second of all, submit just has a negative connotation, like you're submitting to someone, you're below them. So those are two of the reasons why most people try to stay away from that. But I have to say that a lot of people tend to default to that call to action button. So if you by chance have that on your page, you're not alone. So many people, so many clients of ours do have that to start out with. So in terms of designing a really good call to action, it really depends. It's one of our famous responses here in PPC, it depends. But what I like to do is I try to mirror the message that's in the form header. So if your form header says, your free trial, sign up now or something, I will try to, in the call to action button, I might say something like, get my free trial or get your free trial. Another thing to think about is best practices say, talk about what the user will receive as opposed to what they have to do. So instead of saying, send in your request, it's show me my quotes now or something. It's something that they're going to get as opposed to something they have to do, even though it's probably the same thing at the end of the day. And then another thing is you might want to try personalizing it. So instead of just saying get free trial, you could try saying get your free trial or get mine. It gives a little bit more of an ownership over it. And so there's a thought that maybe that might help people actually convert and click on that button. Let's see, another question do we have here? Do you have any tips for optimizing like the hero image in terms of congruency on the landing page? I would say to that, I think one really good test that you can do, it's super quick. If you want to even figure out whether your image is working for you, you can either do this mentally, or if you have a testing site, you could just actually go ahead and do this. But I would look at your site, remove all the text from it, and just look at your hero image. And just looking at the hero image, are you able to tell what that landing page is about? Can you tell what the product is? Can you tell what the service is about? So to give you an example, I've seen so many times for like rehab facilities, like drug or alcohol rehab facilities. A lot of them tend to be in Florida or in very nice sunny places. So when you go look at the hero image, it's of a person staring out at the beach into the sunset. Well, if I was to remove all the text from that page, I would have no idea that that's about drug rehab. So you might want to try switching it out with a hero image of an individual sitting down on a couch talking to what looks to be a professional, so that if you were to look at it, you would say, this person looks like they're getting counseling of some sort. So it may not give the full answer, but again, it's pushing you in the right direction and living up to that promise of, okay, this page is talking about what I'm interested in. Let's see here. If you're dealing with a range of ad headlines that might apply to your landing page, do you typically just go with the headline of the ad that's been performing best? What if it's a dynamic headline that changes according to search terms? So yeah, I do tend to look at what's our top keyword, where is it performing, and then within that I look at, okay, what's the best performing ad? Which one is bringing in traffic and which one is converting? And I do try to mirror the message.
So one thing here with the dynamic headline, you're right. You're not going to be able to match it up to every dynamic headline that you have, but you want, ideally, if your campaigns are broken out like by product, the product within that campaign, within that ad group, they should be somewhat similar. So that should hopefully allow you to have a landing page that's kind of relevant to all those products within that ad group and campaign. And the second thing is you don't need to have an exact match. So it doesn't need to be, okay, what is exactly said in your ad copy headline needs to be on the headline on your landing page. In fact, I would advise against it, especially if the headline doesn't make sense. If it's awkwardly written, you don't want that on your landing page. The key is really to get to the thrust of the message. Why, in general, why is that person looking at this ad? What's the message? What's the benefit? The features? What are you really trying to highlight? What's the tone? What's the intent? And you really want to try your best to match that. Do we have time for one more? Or one more? All right. Let's see here. We have one last question that I think we'll have time for. So we have a question here. When you have your website and you want to send to a landing page, do you change the landing page or create a whole new page for the ads? Then you have duplicate pages about the same topic. So if I'm getting this right, our theory is you have your main website, but then you have specific PPC landing pages per your campaigns, per your ad groups, depending on how they're designed. So when we're looking at developing congruency, you already have your PPC landing pages. So what we encourage is to go and make minor changes every single time to that landing page. So you still have the same landing page, and you're just going through different rounds of testing. One feature, does that work? Does it not? Okay, then move on to the next round. Does test this feature, that feature? Does it work around? Eventually, you might come to a point where you've really developed a great winning page, and then at that point, you might want to do a complete redesign. But right now, but kind of in what we're talking about congruency, it's not every single time you're creating a brand new PPC landing page. Well, I think that's pretty much all we have, all the time we have for today. Yes, Siddharth?
Yeah, so I think there's another thing that a lot of our customers do. They remove, through their robot.txt, they remove the AdWords landing page from search, in that they don't let Google crawl it. And like you said, they end up making a lot of changes to these landing pages, and they have multiple versions with almost very similar content, but it doesn't affect their search all that much.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Thank you, Siddharth, for bringing in that insight. So, Siddharth, can you move to the last slide, please? One more. Almost there. There we go. So if you have any more questions, you can contact us directly at Hannafin. You could do so at marketing@hannafinmarketing.com. If you want to provide feedback to VWO, you could do it at basewall@wingify.com.
Oh, this was my last name, and this will come directly to me.
Absolutely. That sounds great. You get Siddharth one-on-one there. It's perfect. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to the webinar. I hope you got some useful tips and advice and insights out of it. And hope you guys have a great day. Thank you very much.